Right, we've moved forward now. We've got our style sheets, our HTML, and everything into the back end of Umbraco. What you're looking at here is the actual the default page, not in Umbraco. I just wanted to show you what we're actually aiming for. This was just it, just from the original folder where we copied everything across from. So obviously we had, if you've read the blog, it will say we're looking for a home page, an about us page, a products page, very simple products page I'll add, and then a contact us page. On the contact us page we'll be using Umbraco's Contour, which is a great form building project from them. Excellently priced as well, really, considering how powerful it is, which we'll go through and we'll muck around at the end. So now we've got everything in, we need to start delving into using our doc types. And document types are sort of the building blocks, so to speak, of what the users can actually put onto their pages. So with a document type, you can allow them to have a text box for a title, a rich text editor, drop downs. You can have content pickers, so you can let them choose pages from the site. There's so many. It's quite amazing, really, and people are bringing out all sorts of different packages to help expand the site for all sorts of different things. But we'll go into more of that later. But what I'll do now is we need to create, again, you can either do this two ways. You can just create a doc type, just like click create, and then just start adding your fields and your data types, which we'll go through in a minute. Or you can use a master data type, a master doc type, which you can inherit from. So if you always want like a page title, a meta description, and other things like that, and then through every single one you create, you can sort of inherit that the same way as you can from master pages. You can create a master page underneath it. So what we'll do is I actually uploaded a master doc type template onto Umbraco, which I suggest if you want to use this you can, which is what I'll use here. And it comes with some data types already sort of on the doc type, which will help you further down the line. So what we'll do is we'll grab that, and what we can do is right click, import document type, so we can find, and if you export there'll be UDT files, so we'll find it on my desktop here. Excuse the thing there. Okay, and now what we'll do here, we'll import that, and it gives you the name and the alias of it, so we'll just import, that's fine. Excellent stuff. We'll close that down, and what we'll do now, we'll just reload the nodes. Is it gonna? It's not kicked in. So sometimes you might do something and it doesn't kick in. It's just the nodes don't reload very well. I'm guessing the new version 4.1 I think is going to be a lot better than that. So I think if you just click on settings again, reloads the nodes, and then there you go. There's your master. So if we click on the master doc type, and you'll see from the start it's got some, on the first tab on info, it's got a few things which are name and alias. The name is just the name, generic name for an alias is how you can use that within your code, within like the XSLT files for filtering between doc types, and only pulling out specific types of doc types for a page. And the icon is what's presented to the user in the actual content section. So as this little thing here. And there's a great package, I forget the name of it, on Umbraco. It's got absolutely loads of icons, real good. You can actually make a real rich sort of interface with all the different icons. I use it all the time, and I have it just as a package that I've already built up, so that's why I forget the names of it. I think it's fam icons, I can't remember. So going back to settings and doc types, we've got our master here, and the thumbnail again is just shown to the user. So allowed templates, I'd ignore this for the moment, because we're not actually going to allow any templates to use. It's just our master that anything we put underneath is going to inherit from. And what we can do here, we'll go straight to generic properties so you can see what's already on the actual doc type itself. So it has tabs. So we have a tab for meta description, which is already there, and the generic properties, which every doc type you create kind of has a generic properties tab anyway, which you'll make more sense once we go into it. And these are sort of Umbraco methods that are kind of built in, which we just added in. And Again, these will make more sense once you start playing with the system more, but for now you just need to, I wouldn't really pay much attention to them until you've actually built your site and you know what you're doing. But for the meta tab, we're just putting page title and meta description, which is fine. So now we've got our master page here. We can right click and, oh no, sorry, ignore me. We can right click on the document type, create a new one, and it'll ask us if we have a master document type, which we do. So I want to say yes, inherit from the master document type. And now this time it says create a matching template. So we can say yes, and what it will do is it will create a template, which is your master page in the templates. Or another way around, you could have literally, like I've done, you could right click on your master page and create, and call it home. And as you can see now, I've already got my template there. So for the home one, and I could right click and create under master, call it home. We won't create a matching document because I've just created it and it's already under my master page. And then we'll click create. So we've got home and home. Now if I click on home, allow template, you see it hasn't got it ticked because I said don't create a template because I already created one already. But if I'd actually ticked create the template and it actually created the template for me, it would already have this ticked. So it's just saying what templates is this doc type allowed to use. So we're saying please use the home one. And what I do is I save that and make sure the default template is set to home as well. Okay, but we know this is inheriting from the master, so we've got the page title and meta description already, and this is going to be our home page itself. So what we do is we can change this just to a, let's see what we've got here. We've got anything that'll do. Just looks like a house. So we've got a home page. Have we? It looks like a house, so we'll stick with that for the moment as well, and we'll change this to a doc with an image, which is fine. I just keep saving every time I make a change because I know what I'm like. I'll end up getting distracted and disappear off, so it's worth just saving it as you do things. We don't need to worry about the structure at the minute because we haven't got any subpages we want to allow to be created under this, so we'll go straight to generic properties. Now we know we've got the meta tab already, so what I actually want to do is create a content tab. And what I'll do is this will make sense more once I create the home page in a moment, just so you can see. So I have a tab here now, and I can create as many as I want and sort order them. And now you'll see here it says the tab. So now I can create items like text boxes and things like that to go under the content tab that I want the user to be able to edit. So for example, I want them just to, to make it ease of use, we'll just say we'll call this content or main content. That'll do. And now what we'll do is we'll call this body text, and we'll choose a rich text editor. Now these are data types. These are all the different things you can give or put on a doc type for users, like date pickers and drop downs, rich text editors, etc., etc. So we'll choose rich text editor, and we want it to go on the tab of content. Then what I'll do is I'll just save that. Now, and you can see here main content of body text, and I'll just run through that quickly. The reason why I've named that alias body text, you can call it whatever you like, but the main content or the main rich text editor for a page is, I don't know if it's kind of a, I wouldn't say a cult thing, but I'll just say it seems to be a generic term that everybody uses on the Umbraco forum, and who makes packages, they tend just to have as an alias of body text. But you can name this whatever you want to name it. It's whatever you feel that you know you're going to use it to be able to display, and you know that the body text means pull out the main text in the page. So now we have obviously the content tab, and we just have a main content rich text editor there, which is great. So that's brilliant. So now that's ready to go. And literally, if I went to the content page now, there's nothing there, but if I right clicked and create, you should see there's our home. So obviously we click home. Now what we can do is we'll call this home as well, because we want it to be, the name is obviously the name that appears in the actual editor, and the URL. It actually is what generates the URL. So we'll create a home node there. There we go, it's appeared here. I didn't do my sort ordering very well. That sometimes happens with using your master page. So you can see I prefer the content tab to be in front of the meta tab there, but as you can see, the tabs I have got anyway, I've added the content tab. As you saw, I added the content tab in the document type, just to show you again. Into my tabs, there's my content tab, and then under the content tab I added the rich text editor, which you saw. So what I will do quickly though, it's rather annoying, under my tabs I'll change that to 999 and then save that, because the sorter I want it to be right at the top. So now when I go back to my content, as you can see, it's faded out because I haven't actually published my home page yet. It's just created and just waiting, and you can see it's using that kind of icon that I shouldn't be using, I guess, but it kind of looks like a home. But now the content tab is now in front of the meta tab. So here we go, so we can start writing away. So hello, etc, etc. So meta tab, and then my page title. Oops. And again, properties you saw from the master document type. These are all the other little options you saw, which I said don't worry too much about it. And they've got little descriptions, which I think I stole from the Warren's CWS, which is a great package. But I would recommend just having a quick play like this before you install that. So once I've got a bit of text there, and now I want to do is save and publish. And now if you want to be able to look at that page, you go to properties, and then there's the link to your document. So we could click this and go and see what our page looks like, and you might think, well, that's fine, we're going to see something, but really we should just see a blank page with just the template, which we do, because I haven't actually set the page to say, actually, I want to show this content here, or show anything. I've just said just use the template. So if we just go back to our settings, and under templates, all we did is we created another nested master page. As you can see, it's just a blank master page. So what we want to do now is we actually want to pull through the content and show it to the user for that page. And if you remember, what we did on the doc type is we created the rich text editor, if I can get it out, and named it body text. So we can go up here to the insert Umbraco page field, click insert, and underneath choose field, just drop it down, you'll see body text, and you'll see all the other IDs. Now these are auto-generated, and these are things which are to do with the actual page themselves. So you can just put out the creation date and display it. You can put out the page name and auto-display it on the page to them. But for now, just click body text, and we won't go through any other features at the minute. We'll just choose field, insert, and there it is. Puts it in for you. No code in this, needed. Click save. There we go. Now if we go back to our home page, and then we'll just close these down. Go back to our home node. Click there, and then there it is. Appears on the page. So what we could do now, you could take it one step further, and I would usually create a separate field for this called title, but just for this example, what we'll do is we'll also we'll create an H1, and we'll just pull out the page name. And if you go down to the @ symbols now, you should see @page name, insert, and as you can see, it's put the sort of Umbraco code in there itself. Hit save. Now if we go back and reload our page, there you go. There's our H1 and the text underneath. Right, so I've kind of got my home page, crap as it may be, and now what we're going to do is create the other pages. So we've got about us, products, and contact us. So about us and contact us can really be just like a text page. So I'm just going to create just a generic text page doc type that we can use for the about us, and maybe some sub pages of about us or some other pages you want to create. And then because I'm using Contour, I can use a text page, and in the rich text editor, in the actual editor the user can, I can actually just sort of insert the form that I create in Contour into that page. So I don't need to create a specific contact page, although you could, but for this demonstration we'll just create a normal text page. But the products page, I'm going to create a in fact no, ignore me, I'm actually just going to create text pages for all, but I'll still use a different doc type for the product itself, just to run it through. So we go back in and let's just create, so we go to settings again, and this time what we'll do, we'll go to doc types, and then as you see we've got home already, so I want to create just a, using the master again, we'll call it text page. As you can see, made a few different ones there that are popping up, and this time we'll leave create matching template. So there we go, we've got text page appears there. Our aliases are fine. We'll just create, just grab a doc image, that will do for those, and we'll just create a document image for that as well. And it's already ticked, as before we created the template and then we created a doc type, but as I told it to create a matching template, it's already selected allowed templates and already there as the default template, so that's good. So now what we'll do, under the structure, so structure means what types of pages are allowed to be created underneath this one. So if I had an About Us page and I right clicked on the About Us, would I want to be able to create a nested sort of some text pages underneath? Personally I would, so I'll allow a text page type of page to be created underneath other text pages, but obviously I wouldn't want them to create another home page or the master template itself. So we'll just save that. So underneath generic properties, again it's blank apart from our generic properties tab, but it's also inheriting our meta description one, so it's, or meta tab, sorry, so that's fine. So we'll just, again, I want to create a content tab, and then underneath that I'm just going to keep this really simple and then create again another one. Oh, not main image, main content, and then we'll call it body text, and we'll use a rich text editor again in the content, that's fine, and we'll save that. So that's great. Okay, so we've created our text page itself there, which is brilliant. So now under our templates you'll see, oh, but obviously there's a problem there. It's just created a template and it's just chucked it underneath, which is a bit of a pain. So what I'll do there is we can literally just create the text page itself, or move it to be underneath the master. So from here what you can do is just jot that down to say master, and it updates the master itself there, and click save. And now if we reload those nodes, oops, is it going to let me do that from here? There we go, it's now underneath the master, which is great. And one thing I haven't done there is I didn't actually I didn't update the actual content placeholder ID, so it's still referencing the wrong one. So if you look here, it was inner content, so I just need to do that. But what you can do, actually, no coding necessary. If I just click that and save it, I've got no template there. If I click the insert content area, it actually already tells me what the ID is, so I can just insert and voila, it's already in there ready to go. So we've got that there, and obviously now what I need to do to pull through is the actual content, exactly the same as what I did from the home one. So really I could, if I wanted to, just copy the home one and then just paste it into there. It's the same, it's still I'm still taking the page name and the body text, exactly the same fields that I created for the home node as I've created for the text page. So I can just save that now, and there we go. I've got a text page doc type ready to go here. So now if I go to the home here and I right click and create, and I choose a doc type, oh, no doc types there. And the reason for that is underneath the doc types I haven't allowed a text page type document to be created underneath the home. So now I just go to home, go to structure, choose yep, allow text pages, click save. This is a great way of making if you can use a lot of doc types, which is what we do on some big sites, is you can structure the site really well, so it keeps the people from not putting the wrong content in wrong areas, and it makes it a real nice kind of experience for the users when they're creating the site. So if we go for content now if I click on home and click create, there we go, I've got a text page document. So we were creating an About Us page, and click create, and then we'll call this oh we are cool, which is great. The meta, we'll say About Us, which is great, and then we'll Click Save and Publish. Again, there's nothing appeared there, so just need to reload the nodes, and there it appears. There you go. So we have an About Us page now. That's just underneath the Home node. So I need to create now a Products page, because I think we're going to have a Products one. Products text page. This is a Products page. Whoops. And then we'll say Products. And we'll save and publish that. And now lastly we'll have a Contact Us page. There we go, which is Contact Us. And then please use the form below to contact us. Okay. So there we go. Our kind of structure is there and ready. So what we need to do now, we'll go to our content, we'll go to our home. I think we've got it here actually. Great. So if we reload this page now, and we've still got the links there are dead because we haven't actually updated our template to use these links. Now we could hard code them, not really ideal, because obviously if you add a new page, you don't have to go back to the template and then find the URL and then put it in. It's a bit of a pain. So what you can do is this is where the word XSLT comes in, which sounds a bit crazy, but it's not actually too bad. And believe me, I was a hater for a long time. But this will be under the developer. So if you go to the developer icon now, and then you've got your XSLT files there. And how it works is you create an XSLT file which creates the actual XSLT itself, and then it also creates a matching macro. And the macro is what you can insert into a page, or you can use a .NET control with a macro. It doesn't have to be an XSLT, but we'll run through that in a second. So what we want to do is right click again, create. Now I need a main navigation, I'm going to call it. So I can just click create now, and also notice here I want to create a macro for this main navigation so I know I can drag it and put it into my templates. Or I can choose one of the brilliant templates they give you already. So they give you all sorts of templates, which makes things a lot easier to do. So here we've got navigation prototype, so we could actually just click navigation prototype and we'll give that a whirl and see what happens here. Let's have a look. Okay, and it's saying here typically 1 for top navigation and 2 for second level. So there we go. And let's see what it does. And it just puts it into a list, and then what it does is it just loops through all the nodes from the level that's mentioned up there, as long as the Umbraco Navi hide option is not ticked. So what you want to do here is basically, I think we can just leave that for now. I think that might just work. We'll just leave it. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll just leave that, give that a save, and that macro has now been created under the macros, as you can see. And all it is, it's just referencing the XSLT file, which is down here. And again, you can see you can either use a .NET user control, any kind of custom controls, or even Python, depends what you do. And here you can choose whether you let the users see this macro or use this macro in the actual rich text editor itself. So we don't need them to use it in this one. We don't want that to be available to them, so we'll just leave it as it is for the moment. And I think what we'll do is now we'll go to our master template where our navigation is. So here's our main master, and as you can see, there's our sort of hard-coded lists. And what I have noticed there is I've got an idea of menu on there, so we may need to put that on the actual list that's generated in the XSLT, but we'll worry about that next. So I just want to remove my list itself. There you go. And then this button here is your macros. So you can click that, and there we go. We've only got one available to us, which is insert or choose the macros main navigation. Click OK, and there you go. That's already put in for you. Now I just need to save that. And again, you get all the notifications down the bottom here, whether it's saved or it's not saved, or there's a problem. Especially if you're using the XSLT, you'll see some of the horrible error messages you usually get when you're messing around with it, or well I get anyway. So now here we go. So if we refresh this or reload it, there he is. Oh, there we go. it's got about us, products, contact us. Hasn't actually put the home page in because it's using the second level. So what you can do here is obviously you could change the XSLT to put the home page, to grab the home page and the subnodes, but to be honest, the home page isn't really going to change. And for this demo, I'm just going to go to the XSLT file. Underneath the URL, I'm literally just going to put this. I'm just going to write my link, and it's not really hard coded. Well, it is hard coded, but I'm not going to put the name. I'm just going to put a slash in, and then home, and save that. And now, if I reload that, there we go. There's our home, and you see it just slash means go to the root, so it's going to go to the home page regardless. And if you notice, if I hover over, in fact you can't see that very well. Let me just bring this up. If I hover over here, you can see the URLs are there that are auto-generated. So let's just remove that there. And okay, so if we click About Us, there we go. About Us page. Click Products. Click the Products page. Contact Us. We get the Contact Us page. So there's our sort of basic site or content managed site, kind of there already. That's it. That's a kind of basic content managed with rich text editor. Must learn to speak properly. Already to go. So what we can do now is start looking to create some of the actual content. So as in create some products, and we'll look at contour later down the line. So in the next video, I'll concentrate on the products.